Welcome, avid watchers and curious minds alike. Today, we explore the dark and complex world of serial killers, individuals whose gruesome actions have both horrified and fascinated us for decades. In this deep dive, we'll traverse the chilling landscapes of the psyches of 5 infamous psychopathic predators. These are individuals who have left an indelible mark on history, their crimes so heinous and incomprehensible that one cannot help but wonder what drove them to such depths of depravity. As we embark on this journey together, peering into the abyss of the human mind, I invite you to stay vigilant. If you find yourself drawn to these kinds of investigations, consider subscribing to our channel for more in-depth analysis on topics that walk the line between the curious and the macabre. First on our list is a name synonymous with the phrase serial killer, Ted Bundy. Bundy's notoriety as one of the most chilling figures in American history is not unfounded. He was a man who lived amid ordinary citizens, a seemingly charismatic and well-educated individual who used his charm as a weapon, just as lethal as the tools he used to commit his brutal acts of murder. But what was it that made Bundy tick? To answer that, we need to look beyond his facade and delve into his pattern of behavior. How he manipulated and lured his victims with a disarming smile, all the while harboring a dark compulsion for violence, necrophilia, and deceit. His modus operandi was nothing short of brutal, his actions calculated, and his demeanor alarmingly detached. It's within this dichotomy of charm and horror that we witness the true nature of Bundy's psychopathy. Psychological theories abound when it comes to understanding Ted Bundy, from questions surrounding nature versus nurture, the influence of his upbringing, to the presence of a clinical psychopathic profile, which includes a lack of empathy, glibness, and a grandiose sense of self. Moving on, we encounter another name that sends shivers down one's spine, Jeffrey Dahmer. Dubbed the Milwaukee Cannibal, Dahmer's story is a harrowing reminder of the human capacity for evil. He was responsible for the murder and dismemberment of 17 young men and boys. His acts of necrophilia and cannibalism painting a disturbing picture of a man far removed from the constraints of morality and conscience. But Dahmer was not simply a monster. His life story is riddled with struggle, from a troubled childhood to battles with substance abuse and a conflicted sexual identity, all of which played into the creation of a human being capable of such grotesque acts. How did Dahmer's internal turmoil translate into the external horror he inflicted? This is a question that continues to provoke discussion among criminologists and psychologists today. Before we continue exploring the dark corners of these individuals' minds, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Engage with the community. Express your opinions and theories. We're building a space here for conversation and insight, and we value your input as we delve deeper into these complex cases. Now, don't forget to hit the like button if you're finding this topic as riveting and thought-provoking as we do. Next, let's delve into the unsettling world of John Wayne Gacy, a man often referred to with a shudder as the killer clown. He exemplified the term wolf in sheep's clothing. Outwardly, Gacy was a respectable figure in his community, hosting children's parties as Pogo the Clown, even actively participating in local politics. However, beneath this cultivated image of normalcy was a psychopathic predator who sexually assaulted and took the lives of at least 33 young men and teenage boys. The stark contrast between Gacy's public persona and his concealed horrors poses an alarming question. How could such a pillar of the community covertly perpetrate unimaginable atrocities? Gacy's ability to manipulate others, to project an image of normalcy while indulging his dark impulses, showcases the frightening competence of a sociopath to navigate society undetected. Analysis of Gacy's character and actions provides a chilling portrait of someone who could compartmentalize their life to such an extreme that burying victims beneath the floorboards of his home did not impede his daily interactions with neighbors and acquaintances. His case leaves us wondering about the facades people wear and about who we can truly trust in our lives. Turning our focus to a rare instance within the world of serial killers, we meet Aileen Wuornos. Her case stands out, not only because of her gender. Female serial killers are less commonly profiled, but also due to the motivations she claimed drove her to murder. Wuornos was convicted for the killing of 7 men over a short period between 1989 and 1990 in Florida. She asserted that these killings were carried out in self-defense against the aggression of the men she encountered while working as a prostitute. Wuornos' life was mired in suffering, marked by trauma, abuse, and abandonment stretching back to her early years. This tumultuous background, which undoubtedly shaped her worldview and survival mechanisms, brings forth a discussion on the intersection of environmental factors and criminal behavior. However, Wuornos' claims of self-defense were met with skepticism, leading to her arrest, trial, and eventual execution, amidst intense media spectacle and public debate. Lastly, we explore the enigmatic and gruesome legacy of Ed Gein. His crimes were so profoundly disturbing that they provided inspiration for several iconic characters in horror fiction. Gein's notoriety came not only from the murders he committed, but also from his morbid fascination with human anatomy, leading him to exhume corpses from local graveyards. His creation of artifacts from human body parts and his acts of necrophilia are documented with a chilling level of detail, shedding light on an exceptionally disturbed psyche. The cultural impact of Gein's crimes has permeated deeply into the horror genre, but his real-life actions prompt us to consider the deeply unsettling potential for human depravity. Examining Gein's damaged psyche, shaped by an abusive and isolated upbringing, allows you to ponder on the long-reaching effects of psychological trauma and its potential to warp an individual's reality and moral compass. It's important to remember that the study of such extreme outliers in human behavior serves not only to satisfy our morbid curiosity, but also to further our understanding of the human condition. Your thoughts on these cases are invaluable as we attempt to unravel the complexities of these troubled minds. Engage with us. Subscribe to follow along on this journey where psychology meets the darkest elements of true crime. Let's continue this conversation as we inch ever closer to comprehending the seemingly incomprehensible.